The announcement came on a Wednesday, wedged awkwardly between morning traffic updates and a weather report predicting rain across the eastern seaboard. The message, delivered via a shimmering hologram projected into the skies of every major city on Earth, was brief and imperious. We, the Galactic Empire of Zarkon, hereby declare war upon the inhabitants of Earth. Surrender your planet or face obliteration. The holographic emissary, a regal figure draped in alien finery and bearing too many eyes for comfort, paused dramatically as if expecting mass panic. Instead, the people of Earth responded with a collective shrug. In New York, commuters grumbled about the delay the projection caused to their subway schedules. In Tokyo, the announcement was overshadowed by the release of a new smartphone. In Mumbai, it barely registered amidst the chaotic bustle of daily life. On social media, the hashtag #GalacticWar started trending, mostly as a meme. A few governments issued statements of concern, but these were buried under more pressing domestic news. Humanity, as it turned out, had reached a saturation point for existential crises. Climate change, economic instability, pandemics, aliens declaring war was just another thing to add to the list. In the imperial capital of Zarkon Prime, Emperor Vrothak XII was apoplectic. "Have they not received our ultimatum?" he thundered, his multiple arms flailing in frustration. "They have, Your Majesty," replied Viziek Sarlax, his spindly aide. But their response is underwhelming. "What do you mean?" "Well, Your Majesty, they appear disinterested." The Emperor squinted at the live feed from Earth. Humans were going about their business, some even posing for selfies with the hologram in the background. "This is an insult," roared Vrothak. "Prepare the armada." The fleet arrived in Earth's orbit 2 days later, an awe-inspiring display of technological might. Thousands of sleek, obsidian ships descended, blocking out the sun in many regions. Yet, the reaction on the ground remained subdued. "Cool light show," said a teenager in Los Angeles, live-streaming the event. "Do you think they'll interfere with the cricket match?" asked a fan in London. The Empire's first assault targeted an uninhabited stretch of desert. The energy blast carved a perfect circle into the sand, a feat of precision engineering. The Empire awaited Earth's capitulation. Instead, they received an invoice for environmental damage from a local government. "Should we escalate?" asked Admiral Frex, his tentacles poised over the control panel. "No," sighed Vrothak. "It's clear they don't take us seriously. This is humiliating." Back on Earth, life continued largely uninterrupted. A few entrepreneurs tried to capitalize on the war, selling alien-themed merchandise. One particularly enterprising individual started a petition to negotiate with the Empire in exchange for free Wi-Fi across the galaxy. Eventually, the Galactic Empire withdrew its forces, citing irreconcilable cultural differences. The official statement framed it as a strategic retreat, but everyone knew the truth: humanity was too apathetic to conquer. As the last alien ship vanished into the void, a new headline dominated the news cycle: "Mysterious monolith found in Utah desert." The Galactic War was already forgotten. The shimmering hologram that had interrupted the calm of a midweek morning lingered in the sky like a cosmic screensaver. People paused to watch, snapping photos and exchanging bemused glances, but the sense of urgency or terror that might have been expected in another era was conspicuously absent. In an age where catastrophe felt constant, it took more than an alien ultimatum to shake humanity from its stupor. In a crowded diner in Chicago, the morning rush continued unabated. Plates clattered, coffee poured, and the sound of forks scraping against plates mingled with the low hum of conversation. Near the window, a middle-aged woman in a wrinkled suit scrolled through her phone while sipping her third cup of coffee. "They want us to surrender," muttered a young man seated across from her, his hair an unkempt mop and his hoodie bearing the logo of a local tech startup. He was glued to a live stream of the alien fleet approaching Earth, the dark shapes of their ships casting shadows over major cities. "What do you think that means?" "Probably means they've never dealt with the DMV," she said without looking up, her tone dry. "Surrender is just another word for bureaucratic nightmare." The young man snorted but couldn't take his eyes off the screen. This is history happening right now. Real aliens, real war, and people are, I don't know, tweeting jokes about it. She shrugged. Kid, we've been through a lot. Most of us are running on empty. Besides, if they wanted to destroy us, they'd have done it already. What's the point in worrying about something you can't change? Across the city, in a tiny apartment filled with half-unpacked boxes, Claire Monroe was having a very different reaction. She stood frozen in front of her television, the words of the holographic emissary looping endlessly in her head. Claire wasn't a soldier or a politician. She wasn't even particularly interested in space, but the sight of those alien ships ignited something deep and primal in her. Fear, yes, but also curiosity, a gnawing need to understand why this was happening and what it all meant. Claire had always been good at puzzles. It was what made her a great investigative journalist, though the industry's slow collapse had forced her to trade in her dream job for freelance gigs, writing fluff pieces about local events. Still, the instinct to dig, to uncover the truth, had never left her. And now, standing there in her socks and oversized sweater, she felt that old fire rekindle. She grabbed her laptop and began to research, her fingers flying over the keyboard. The Galactic Empire of Zarkon wasn't a name anyone had ever heard before. A quick search revealed nothing but the usual mix of conspiracy theories and sci-fi fan fiction. But Claire knew where to look beyond the surface. Within an hour, she hacked her way into a network of encrypted forums where amateur astronomers, ex-military personnel, and fringe scientists discussed things most people dismissed as nonsense. It was there she found her first clue, a blurry photograph of something that didn't belong in Earth's orbit, dated 6 months before the invasion. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, in a cramped underground bunker somewhere outside of Moscow, a man known only as Victor paced back and forth. He was ex-KGB, though these days he worked for no government. Victor had made his fortune in the shadows, trading information and secrets like currency. The alien ultimatum had sent ripples through his usual channels, whispers of covert meetings and classified briefings reaching him almost immediately. But what intrigued him most was not the Galactic Empire's declaration of war, but the response, or lack thereof, from Earth's power players. Victor leaned over a monitor displaying intercepted communications from various world leaders. They were worried, of course, but there was something else beneath the surface. A guardedness, as if they already knew more than they were letting on. He'd seen this pattern before during the early days of the Cold War, when the most dangerous truths were buried under layers of deception. Victor smiled to himself. If there was a truth to uncover here, he would find it. Back in Chicago, Claire's phone buzzed, pulling her attention away from her laptop. It was a text from her friend and occasional collaborator, Marcus. *** Marcus. ****, you seeing this alien stuff? ****, Claire. ****, obviously. Already digging. You ****, Marcus. ****, got a lead. Weird chatter at the observatory. Meet me there. ****. Claire hesitated. The observatory was on the outskirts of the city, and the thought of venturing out while alien ships loomed overhead wasn't exactly appealing. But if Marcus had a lead, it was worth following. She grabbed her jacket and headed for the door. At the same time, in the bowels of the Pentagon, a small group of officials gathered in a windowless room. The air was thick with tension as General Harris, a grizzled veteran with a permanent scowl, addressed the group. "We've known about them for years," he began, his voice low but firm. "Not the Zarkonians specifically, but the fact that we're not alone. NASA, SETI, the intelligence community, we've all had pieces of the puzzle. What we didn't expect was their timing. We thought we had decades before something like this happened." A young analyst raised her hand tentatively. "Do we know what they want?" Harris shook his head. "Not yet. But I'll tell you this. Their technology makes ours look like Stone Age tools. If they want to fight, we're not ready." The room fell silent, the weight of his words sinking in. Someone turned on a screen showing live footage of the alien fleet. The ships hovered ominously, their sleek forms glinting in the sunlight. It was both beautiful and terrifying, a reminder of just how small and vulnerable humanity truly was. As the day wore on, the world continued to spin, its inhabitants grappling with the alien presence in their own ways. Some dismissed it as a hoax. Others panicked, hoarding supplies and building makeshift bunkers. A few even celebrated, convinced this was the beginning of a new era of enlightenment. And then there were those like Claire, Victor, and General Harris, who couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this story than met the eye. The Galactic Empire of Zarkon hadn't come all this way just to issue an ultimatum and wait. There had to be a reason, a purpose behind their actions. And until that purpose was revealed, the tension would only grow. Above it all, the alien ships remained silent and watchful, as if waiting for humanity to make its move.